When a narcissist wants revenge against you, these are the signs you can't ignore so you can beat them. Today, let's peel away the layers of the narcissistic persona, revealing the 5 main vulnerabilities they strive to conceal. Come with me on this exploration as we navigate the intricate maze of narcissism and unearth the realities hidden beneath the mask. Despite their facade of invulnerability, narcissists carry weaknesses that, when exposed, can profoundly shake the very core of their meticulously constructed identity. Beneath their mask of grandiosity lies a deep-seated fear of inadequacy, a relentless drive for validation, and an insatiable hunger for admiration. This perpetual quest for external validation forms the Achilles heel of narcissism, rendering them susceptible to manipulation and exploitation. Furthermore, their lack of empathy erects barriers to genuine connection, ensnaring them in a cycle of isolation and internal conflict. Their fragile egos, unable to tolerate even the mildest criticism, magnify their vulnerabilities. By illuminating these weaknesses, we gain insight into the nature of narcissism and its profound effects on both the individual and their surroundings. It's time to break free from the cycle of manipulation and embark on a journey toward authentic healing. So, are you prepared to uncover the truths concealed behind the narcissistic mask? Let's delve into the depths. Narcissists really take a blow to their ego when faced with frustration. It throws them off balance, triggering heightened stress and anxiety levels. This disrupts their usual coping mechanisms, leading to behavior reminiscent of individuals with borderline personality disorder. Think explosive tantrums, intense emotions, and difficulties managing anger or jealousy. Frustration amplifies their typical traits, sometimes even resembling primary psychopathy. Similarly, individuals with borderline personality disorder exhibit traits akin to secondary psychopathy when frustrated. Both narcissists and those with borderline personality disorder struggle immensely in such situations, resorting to almost any means to alleviate their distress. While most people attempt to address the issue calmly, narcissists may resort to aggressive outbursts, resorting to verbal or physical violence in what we term as a coercive snap. Essentially, narcissists strive to mold everyone to fit their idealized image, disregarding the fact that individuals have their own thoughts and emotions. When faced with resistance, they may escalate to extremes, including violence. It's crucial to recognize that narcissists often internalize blame for their frustrations, failing to acknowledge that the source lies externally. They perceive people as mere objects, rather than autonomous individuals. Therefore, when confronted with frustration, they react aggressively in an attempt to coerce conformity to their idealized image. Dealing with a narcissist poses a considerable challenge because they view others not as they truly are, but as projections of their own fantasies. When circumstances don't align with their desires, they can erupt in fits of rage until they regain a sense of dominance. This repetitive cycle of frustration perpetuates conflict, escalating tensions further. Moreover, during periods of intense stress, they may transition into a borderline state characterized by impulsive and destructive behavior, culminating in the notorious outbursts known as borderline rage. Occasionally, narcissists exhibit traits reminiscent of a cold and calculated psychopath, exhibiting a complete disregard for empathy and solely prioritizing their own interests. Both the borderline and psychopathic states are steeped in fantasy, as narcissism distorts their perception of reality. The psychopathic tendencies within a narcissist can be profoundly unsettling, akin to the extreme cases sensationalized in the media. Their transition from one troubling state to an even darker one occurs devoid of concern for others. Initially, Narcissists may present themselves as entirely ordinary individuals, adept at concealing their true nature. Instead of displaying anger, they may adopt a facade of warmth and friendliness, even feigning the role of the ideal companion. However, beneath this veneer lies a sense of disquiet. They employ sarcasm and bitterness, evade direct confrontation with problems, and maintain a facade of politeness and concern. Yet, one should not be deceived. Behind this mask lurks a malevolent intent, whether it be physical harm or the sabotage of one's career. These clandestine schemes, whether executed covertly or brazenly, weave a complex web of deceit, leading victims to misconstrue reality. Despite appearing to hold the reins of control, victims endure enduring anguish inflicted by these malicious acts, akin to a wound that refuses to heal, leaving them profoundly wounded and struggling to recover. Let's explore the borderline state, a realm characterized by two distinct facets. At one moment, a narcissist may erupt in fits of rage or throw tantrums, seemingly out of nowhere. In the next, they may insidiously sow discord, subtly shifting blame onto others, a hallmark of covert narcissism. Regardless of the approach, when confronted with intense stress, narcissists can transition into this state, catching observers off guard with either abrupt outbursts of anger or a gradual accumulation of tension. Beware of those who cloak their true intentions behind a facade of normalcy, biding their time for the opportune moment to strike. Some individuals, in a bid to shield themselves, habitually deflect accountability onto others and may resort to aggression or violence to rationalize their actions. Winning becomes an all-consuming obsession, and the sting of defeat can plunge them into despondency, catalyzing behaviors such as substance abuse and detachment from reality. They employ psychological manipulation, particularly targeting those in their inner circle, intensifying their cruelty when threatened by emotional bonds. For certain individuals, verbal abuse may escalate to physical violence, treating others as mere objects devoid of humanity. Those entrenched in deep-seated paranoia or consumed by a thirst for vengeance pose a particularly grave threat, resorting to tactics such as stalking and harassment to achieve their aims. Thus, we discern a primal human instinct deeply ingrained within us. However, the manner in which individuals pursue retribution can vary widely. At times, individuals with inflated egos fail to grasp the nuanced complexity of this pursuit. A more constructive approach involves prioritizing equity and ensuring the restoration of the victim's sense of security, rather than solely seeking retaliation against the wrongdoer. It entails holding the perpetrator accountable, providing solace to the victim, and ensuring that society perceives the incident with the gravity it deserves. If the desire for revenge consumes someone, it can spiral into destructive behavior, monopolizing their thoughts and leading to actions detrimental to themselves. Without intervention, this fixation can erode relationships and detrimentally impact mental well-being, paving the way for long-term consequences. Narcissistic revenge operates on an entirely different level, serving as a mechanism for narcissists to bolster their fragile egos and restore a sense of superiority following perceived slights or humiliations. Instead of attributing blame externally, they pivot the narrative to assert dominance, masking any feelings of inadequacy. For individuals grappling with narcissistic tendencies, resources like my videos can provide valuable insights and coping strategies. Narcissists adopt a perspective characterized by the belief that they are faultless, nearly divine beings, and resort to retaliatory actions as a means of reaffirming their perceived supremacy. This mindset typically emerges from experiences of embarrassment, which contradict their self-image of perfection and omnipotence. By inflicting suffering upon others, narcissists seek to reclaim a sense of significance, elevating themselves above others. Thus, when they mete out punishment to individuals perceived as transgressors, those who challenge their authority, refuse to comply with their directives, or tarnish their image, they derive a perverse sense of empowerment, reaffirming their illusion of omnipotence. Should you find yourself fixating on thoughts of vengeance, take a moment of introspection to discern whether these impulses stem from wounded pride or unhealthy narcissistic inclinations. Redirect your focus towards addressing the genuine emotions of hurt, rather than succumbing to narcissistic urges. Assess whether your desire for retribution aligns with principles of fairness and justice, or is driven by selfish motives, as it often tends to be the latter. Certainly, seeking retribution to restore balance and protect oneself is a valid response, provided it doesn't become a tool for ego inflation. It's essential to strive for assertion of rights and reconciliation rather than seeking vindictive satisfaction. Merely yearning for a return to normalcy, to undo the harm inflicted, serves as a coping mechanism to address the pain caused by others' deliberate wrongdoing. Compensation and restitution offer practical and equitable means to rectify the situation, providing just redress beneficial to all parties involved. When faced with adversity, individuals typically adopt one of two approaches: punitive self-righteousness or a quest for pragmatic, fair solutions. Healthy individuals tend to lean towards the latter, while those marked by self-centeredness and an inflated self-concept often resort to the former. This dichotomy delineates the fundamental distinction between these two behavioral archetypes. I trust I haven't conveyed an overly aggressive demeanor, but if I have, rest assured that you retain the autonomy to respond as you deem appropriate, be it through punitive measures, righteous indignation, or the pursuit of amicable and practical resolutions.